Georgia Republicans sweep the 2014 midterm elections. The GOP wins every statewide seat. Hello everyone, welcome to City Talk. I'm Thermise Bevel. Fulton County residents showed up at the polls in brisk numbers to cast their ballots in the November 3rd midterm elections. Among the voters, Mayor Kasim Reed, who was accompanied by his wife and future voter, daughter Maria Kristen. Channel 26 caught up with residents who were excited about voting this time around.
Well, one, it was just my first election, and it's nice to start a habit. I feel like it's important that we actually get our voices heard.
At the end of the night, once all votes were counted, incumbent Republican Governor Nathan Deal beat challenger Jason Carter, and Republican David Perdue won the open U.S. Senate seat. City leaders joined the Rainbow Push Coalition to speak out for voting rights. The group is calling for Congress to adopt a voting right amendment to the U.S. Constitution. City Council President Cesar Mitchell says voting is a basic democratic right that should be protected by the Constitution.
The resolution that has been introduced by Councilmember Nalin Archibong will send a message to Congress that we believe that the right to vote should be a constitutionally protected right.
Councilwoman Archibong says guaranteeing the voting right for all citizens ensures that every vote is counted. Airport officials unveiled a bronze plaque honoring Maynard Jackson, Atlanta's first African-American mayor and the first black mayor of a major city in the South.
It's fitting that we gather this morning amidst the hustle and bustle of the world's busiest airport to stop, remember, and celebrate former Atlanta Mayor Maynard Holbrook Jackson, Jr.
Jackson is remembered with a 40 by 60 plaque for his commitment to setting standards for equality and inclusion throughout city government and for his legacy to the airport. The airport bears his name along with former Mayor William Hartsfield, and the Jackson International Terminal opened in May 2012.
And it was the domestic terminal that he built into a world-class facility that really has driven Atlanta's success as an economic power, not only in this country, but certainly around the world.
The artist worked closely with Mrs. Valerie Jackson to get it just right.
He was an outstanding person. God put him here with a purpose, and carved out and created a magnificent person who would be able to change the world. Everybody don't have that capacity to make change.
The artwork was installed at the domestic terminal security checkpoint next to the bronze relief of William Hartsfield. On the agenda, the Atlanta City Council approved a resolution by Councilman Andre Dickens, which expresses the council's support for a partnership with Atlanta Public Schools. The legislation also creates a joint committee to share policy goals between the city and APS. The joint committee will have 3 representatives from the City Council and 3 representatives from the school board.
I think that working together as council and school board just makes all the sense in the world to be able to get us together to talk about issues that can bring about positive impact on the educational outcomes. And
the Atlanta Board of Education passed companion legislation as well.
They passed it unanimously just like we did, and we're all very excited about working together.
The committee will focus on things such as safety, population growth, workforce development, services for youth, and a number of other student needs. Councilmember Nalin Archibong got the public's input on plans for Memorial Drive. The community attended a public information meeting for Imagine Memorial, a project to make the Memorial Drive corridor better for residents, visitors, and businesses. Constituents from communities along the Memorial Drive corridor reviewed previous master plans and new data collected by Georgia Tech graduate students for their studio design project.
The idea of a studio project is to put students in a position where they're dealing with real projects, with real sponsors. Imagine Memorial is about recognizing that this is a major east-west travelway through the city that's undergoing quite a few changes, and lots of different pieces of projects are happening, both in the private sector and the public sector, crossed by the Beltline. And our goal is to try to put these different projects into a comprehensive setting so that everybody who's involved, whether it's a neighborhood or a developer, have a sense of a bigger understanding of what Memorial Drive can and should be.
Residents and business owners interacted one-on-one with representatives from the design team and gave feedback.
This is my second meeting, so if there's something that's going to impact us one way or the other, I want to know ahead of time.
Neighborhoods on Memorial Drive are being revitalized and residential development is accelerating. Councilwoman Archibong says the Memorial Drive corridor is the spine of that southeast section of town.
We're looking at Memorial Drive from Capitol Avenue down to Candler Road, the city limits of Atlanta. This is an exciting project to look at all the master plans and the visions that communities have had across that stretch to see how we can find some commonality and find ways that we can maximize our resources in a way that we can have the best boulevard going through our neighborhoods, not just a highway called Memorial Drive, but our backyards and our front yards, and make it attractive and safe for everyone.
Councilmember Carla Smith's portion of Memorial Drive is also set for redevelopment. The group is looking at several possibilities.
Well, a lot of the concern is around congestion. We're talking about the possibility of reducing the speed along Memorial Drive. There's also the concern about what I call the suicide lanes, where there's those middle lanes that are interchangeable. Those aren't safe, making sure that we do better with that. Some of the intersection improvements are needed. There's a lot of bottlenecking that happens, say, at Boulevard and Memorial Drive. And so we're looking at sidewalk, because sidewalk enhancements will be helpful to increase pedestrian safety. So we're looking at everything.
Archibong says this is the first time the City of Atlanta, MARTA, the Georgia Department of Transportation, the Atlanta Regional Commission, Invest Atlanta, major developers, and business owners convened in one place to discuss the future of the corridor.
You've got public sector, private sector investors, you've got some foundations represented, so it's a terrific time to identify partners that we can collaborate with.
A comprehensive design plan for the entire corridor will be created to shape future development, infrastructure decisions, and new projects. Councilmember Michael Bond honored Carolyn Long Banks with a reception and proclamation for her outstanding contributions. Banks was the first black woman elected to the Atlanta City Council, serving from 1980 to 1997. She was also the first African-American buyer for Rich's department store and the director of community affairs at Clark Atlanta University. Banks was one of only 2 African-American women to serve as president of the National League of Cities. She also taught high school English here in Atlanta and in Hawaii.
Oh, I feel so good because I have everybody here from all facets of my life. And this is such a big surprise because I thought it was just going to be an ordinary kind of event.
The Atlanta City Council presented Banks with gifts and a proclamation for being such an important part of Atlanta's history. Councilman Bond also recognized NFL great Claude Humphrey for being a standout on and off the field. During his 10 years with the Falcons, Humphrey was NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year, received several NFL and pro honors, played in 6 Pro Bowls, and he is the Falcons' all-time leader in sacks. Humphrey went on to lead the Philadelphia Eagles to a Super Bowl appearance in 1980. He was inducted into the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame in 2004, named to the Atlanta Falcons Ring of Honor in 2008, and inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame in August of this year.
Well, I'm feeling pretty good for an old guy. You know, I'm 70 years old, so I'm just glad to be hanging around here and still here to, you know, do these kind of things because, you know, it's been a long 70.
His ongoing community service has made a difference in the lives of so many. Council members Shepherd, Moore, and Bond, along with Fulton County Chairman John Eves, hosted a breakfast and briefing to alert the tire industry about new regulations. The Georgia General Assembly passed House Bill 226, which includes changes related to tire carrier responsibilities and tire storage requirements. New guidelines require permits and decals.
But right now, what we're doing in terms of short term is just educating all the tire folks is that you can't just dump tires anywhere you want to dump them in the city of Atlanta or any part of the state of Georgia. It's that there's a process for getting rid of tires. We're here today to educate you on what this process is, and if you don't follow that process, you will be prosecuted.
House Bill 226 was introduced by State Representative Randy Nix and grew out of legislation created by Shepherd to stop illegal tire dumping. Coming up, Virgin Atlantic Airlines now has service to Atlanta. Plus, Forever Young. Atlanta seniors fill the dance floor at the Marriott Marquis. And the city breaks ground on the Beltline's West Side Trail. Stay with us.
ATL 26, Forward Together, covering Atlanta inside City Hall and out in the community, keeping you connected to the people who are making a difference, transforming lives through service and giving. ATL 26, Forward Together.
Joanne Macrina, Commissioner of the Department of Watershed Management, is with us today. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me here.
Commissioner, what are some of the top priorities of your department?
Well, with a department as large as Watershed Management, with 1,500 people and a budget of over $500 million, we have a lot of priorities. But let me just mention one of the first things that I'm sure might be on everyone's mind, and that is the federal consent decree. We actually had 2 consent decrees. One was for a combined system and one was for a sanitary sewer system. Now, we have completed one of those consent decrees very successfully, and we did so by reducing really the reason why we got a consent decree, and that is sanitary sewer and combined sewer overflows to natural streams. Whenever we pollute the natural waters, waters of the United States, waters of the state of Georgia, we have to do many things to prevent pollution. One of those is to prevent sewer spills. And we, in our successful completion of one of those consent decrees, we have greatly reduced our spills to our streams. We went from approximately 1,000 spills per year down to a little bit over 100 spills a year. We have to now look at the causes of those spills. There are 2 major causes currently that we're focused on. One is what we call fog, or fats, oils, and greases, and the other one is what we call debris, and it could range anywhere from construction debris, rocks and whatnot, to baby wipes. Instead of putting anything down your garbage disposal, whether it's food scraps, whether it's milk, just leave it in the container, or if you have your food scraps in a pot or a pan, scrape it into your trash can. That is the proper way to dispose of that.
What are some of the things you would like to take care of as Commissioner?
Well, there is one thing that if I lose sleep over anything, it is our water supply. This goes back to a situation that's happening across our nation, and that is aging infrastructure. For example, in the city of Atlanta, our water system, drinking water system, was first established in 1875. Yes, we still actually have wooden pipes and clay pipes. Mayor Reed is committed to giving the people of Atlanta a reliable and safe drinking water system. So he has supported this new project that will cost approximately $300 million. Now, that system is going to consist of a deep tunnel, and that tunnel will be about 10 to 12 feet in diameter. It will be deep into the ground, and we chose that method because we want as little disruption for the people in the city as possible.
The Department of Watershed Management has several bill pay options. Tell us about your partnership with Western Union.
This effort stems from Mayor Reed's desire to improve customer service. Up until recent times, really the only bill pay option was for someone to come to City Hall or someone to charge it on their credit card over the phone. We now have a drop box outside of City Hall, so people don't have to come in and wait in line. We of course have the credit card option that people can call in and charge to the credit card. But what would be more convenient than going to the nearby grocery store or Target or Walmart? If you are going there anyway, you can now stop at the Western Union window and pay your water bill. So we wanted to make sure that we are serving our customers and making it as convenient as possible.
In July 2012, several days of heavy rain flooded Peoplestown. What is the department doing to prevent flooding in that area?
In the past, we used to put a lot more pipes in the ground, larger pipes. Well, you can only put bigger pipes in before it doesn't make sense, before it's too expensive to do. So we have taken an approach that we call green infrastructure. This is part of Mayor Reed's sustainability program. This is a very sustainable way because this approach mimics nature. It holds the water, the storm water, long enough to allow it to seep through the ground again.
All right, Commissioner Macrina, thank you so much.
Thank you for this opportunity. I appreciate it.
ATL 26, forward together, covering Atlanta inside City Hall and out in the community, keeping you connected to the people who are making a difference, transforming lives through service and giving. ATL 26, forward together.
You know the saying, if you build it, they will come. Well, that phrase speaks to the next big milestone in the construction of the Atlanta Beltline.
I am excited! I am excited! Are you excited? Are you excited? This is the day that God has set aside for this side of town.
The side of town Reverend Gerald Durley is rejoicing is the south side of Atlanta. Hundreds of community residents and leaders turned out to celebrate the groundbreaking for the construction of the Beltline's West Side Trail.
West Side Trail!
The West Side Trail represents really an unprecedented $43 million investment in Atlanta's West Side and marks another significant step forward for the Atlanta Beltline.
The groundbreaking was held at the corner of Aileen Avenue and Catherine Street. This location will serve as a key entry point to the trail.
The West Side Trail will connect the Beltline to multiple neighborhoods in parts of the city that really have not had access to this amenity before. And it will demonstrate the city of Atlanta's commitment to build the Beltline in every single part of the city.
When completed, the West Side Trail will be a 3-mile multi-purpose bicycle and pedestrian safe corridor that will connect 4 parks, 4 schools, and public transit. All amenities that District 12 Councilmember Joyce Shepard says are great, but there is still more to be excited about.
We've actually purchased the urban farm. It's coming across the street. The State Farmers Market, the Beltline has purchased that. So we're going to redevelop this whole industrial area here in terms of a Beltline. I'm very excited, and my community is also.
Beltline officials say the West Side Trail will be complete in 2016. British mogul Richard Branson brought his Virgin Atlantic Airlines to Atlanta with his usual flair. The airline picked up one of Delta's 3 daily flights from London's Heathrow Airport to Hartsfield-Jackson through a partnership agreement. Branson arrived on the arms of 2 Virgin Atlantic flight attendants on a 787 dubbed Birthday Girl. The airline expects to ferry 160,000 passengers across the pond annually.
It's wonderful to be able to be here in Atlanta, launching a service to London. It's been great having a partnership with Delta Airlines. They're wonderful partners, and they've become really good friends. And obviously, this is the home of Delta. So, between us both, we hope to give the competition a really good run for their money.
Of course, today we have Virgin Atlantic Airways, and it is actually the first airline to take advantage of our air service incentive program, which incentivizes new airlines to fly to Atlanta. And Virgin will be the first airline that's taking advantage of that.
Virgin Atlantic will add a 2nd seasonal flight to Atlanta beginning this summer.
Welcome to the
President Mitchell was with Opportunity Hub for the grand opening of their Midtown West and downtown campuses, welcoming hundreds of Atlanta innovators, entrepreneurs, and investors. Opportunity Hub helps startup companies by providing collaborative workspaces, innovative practices, and essential resources in sectors such as software, consumer products, and social impact.
We take companies from the idea stage, the conception stage, all the way to the exit stage. So we've aggregated over 100 mentors and residents.
My area of discipline is global distribution networks, scaling companies rapidly.
helping companies become funding ready either through debt or equity, and helping them with their sales and marketing infrastructure. So we work with companies very closely that are either early stage or startups, small to medium-sized businesses that would like to scale rapidly.
Opportunity Hub has an expanding footprint with space across 2 locations, West Midtown and Castleberry Hill. President Mitchell sponsored another college prep series to support students in their quest to go to college. The testing helps students prepare for college entrance exams and provides feedback on their performance.
So we have hundreds of kids here from 6th grade to 11th grade. And the 6th through 10th graders are going to be taking the PSAT this morning, and then the 11th graders are taking the PRA, which will provide them with feedback next week in terms of whether they should focus on the ACT or the SAT going forward.
This is an opportunity for young people to actually have exposure to the standardized tests that they'll have to take for real in order to get admitted to college. And this is also a wonderful opportunity for families, parents that is, to learn more about the college admissions process.
Mitchell says preparation is essential to doing well on college entrance exams, and these practice tests identify the challenging areas students should focus on for the actual test. The holiday season means garbage pickups will be adjusted for collection days that fall on Christmas and New Year's Day. Both days are on a Thursday, and customers affected by the change will have their trash and recycling picked up on the following day. For more information on solid waste collections, visit atlantagA.gov or call the customer service hotline at 404-330-6333. Up next, it's a chili cook-off in Cabbagetown, and the Chastain Arts Festival draws quite a crowd. That's next.
And I get lost in my mind, follow where my feet took a lot of wrong steps before I could get right.
ATL 26, forward together, covering Atlanta inside City Hall and out in the community, keeping you connected to the people who are making a difference, transforming lives through service and giving. ATL 26, forward together.
It's an event that many of the city's senior constituents eagerly await. The annual Forever Young Ball is hosted by Mayor Reed. 5,000 seniors are invited to the Marriott Marquis for an evening of entertainment, dancing, dinner, and fun.
I don't have more fun doing anything than this event. It means so much to me every single year. Y'all remember back in the day when they said we couldn't have the seniors ball anymore? I said, yes, we are going to have this Forever Young Ball.
The ball honors the city's elders for their service and leadership throughout the community. Councilman Ivory Lee Young Jr. was downtown for the 33rd annual Atlanta Veterans Day Parade. The parade celebrates the nation's veterans and gives the community a chance to meet and thank them. The parade had bands, bagpipes, floats, gun salutes, and military tanks.
Freedom is not free. We have to be vigilant, and we have to be so thankful to these wonderful heroes of all wars because they have fought and died for this country.
Councilman Young's father served in Vietnam and is a retired U.S. Army Sergeant Major.
We have an indoor cluster now. It's horrible to behold. No longer bear our derriere outside in the cold.
Cabbagetown residents celebrated the 12th annual Chomp and Stomp. It's a neighborhood festival featuring bluegrass music, an artist market, games, shopping, a 5K run through the historic Cabbagetown community, and of course, a chili cook-off. Councilwoman Archibong was a judge for the cook-off, and she had 46 recipes to taste.
You know, coming into this, I was thinking, you know, once you try the first 2 or 3 types of chili, you know, it'll just be the same taste afterwards. But everyone seems to have stepped their game up at this Chomp and Stomp and really made a difference in the taste of the chilies.
I've tried a lot, but my favorite one was the green chili, the Chupacabra green chili. That was really good. And it's got a good name. And I liked the Wrecking Bar chili. It was really spicy.
Organizers say the Chomp and Stomp Festival gets bigger and better each year. Congratulations to Little's Food Store for winning Best Restaurant Chili. While great tasting chili was being served in Cabbagetown Park, across town at Chastain Park, art lovers braved the cool weather to see the best of what Atlanta and Georgia had to offer.
Some excellent vendors. As you can tell, I've got quite a few things. This was the one I chose to go over the fireplace at home.
The Chastain Arts Festival featured everything from fine art paintings to photography to sculpture to unique jewelry and so much more.
It's really nice being out here today. I'm from Maine, so this isn't really cold. I love jewelry, I love pottery, so I've really enjoyed stopping and sort of looking at all the different potters.
A portion of the proceeds from the festival benefits a scholarship fund for local artists. We end with music from the Urban Youth Harp Ensemble. They gave a special concert in the atrium at City Hall. The ensemble teaches the harp to middle and high school students in conjunction with Atlanta Public Schools. Thank you for watching City Talk. I'm Thermise Bevel.